Okay, good morning class. So the homework was exercise 14, 15 and 16. Okay. Out of exercise 14 you had to do number the second column. Any issues with the second column? Is there any issues with the homework? No? Okay. Then you went on to exercise 1.15. Was there any issues there? That was your perfect square trinomial factorization there. So no issues there. Okay. You had to do the first column. Second column. So we did the first column in class. Nice. Then we went on to 1.16. We did those examples there. And for homework you had to do every alternate sum, which is A, C, E, G and I. Was there any issues there? Nothing. Yes. What was the issue, Michael? E, G and I. Okay. So for homework I want you guys to do 1.16 on page 22, every other sum that wasn't done. Okay. You all understand? Yes, sir. All right. The exercise 1.16 is on page what? 22. Okay. So it's E, G, you guys are writing a maths test on the, sorry? 15. The 14? 15 Feb, no? You have 2 weeks before you write, you know. People, listen. So let's look at the first one. You all notice the perfect square trinomial there. You see the perfect square trinomial. Right, so we're taking out negative as a common factor. Not so? I'm left with a squared minus 6ab plus 9b squared. So as you can see, this is a perfect square trinomial there. So it's going to give you 16x4 minus a minus 3b all squared. Trinomial is going to be 4x squared, 4x squared. 1 plus 1 minus. What's the square root of a minus 3b all squared? A minus 3b. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the bracket within. In the first bracket I didn't need to write that one down. Okay. So it's going to give you 4x squared plus a minus 3b. 4x squared minus a plus 3b. Okay. So what was your problem here, Michael? Huh? Okay, what was the issue here? Trinomial. So you're not seeing the trinomial in the second one as well?
I think I was confused with the
Okay. So you should see the trinomial here now. And you didn't see it again. Take out negative as a common factor. Remember, the trinomial consists of a squared, a and no a. This is the standard form of a trinomial. Ax squared plus bx plus c. That is a standard form. So look out for that. Although this trinomial is the other way around. You see that? So this is going to be 4 minus 12a plus 9a squared. What's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of 9a squared? So it's going to be 2 minus, there's the minus because of that minus, 3a. Then we check. 2 times 3a times 2 is going to give you negative 12a. Is that the case? Yes. So what type of factorization at this point? Thoughts? Not so. So that will give us the square root of 9r squared, 3r, 3r. 1 plus 1 minus. What's the square root of 2 minus 3a all squared? 2 minus 3a. 2 minus 3a. And here we must have a bracket because of the negative sign. Okay. That's simply going to give us 3r plus 2 minus 3a. 3r minus 2 plus 3a. Okay. Sum like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks. Or sum like this. So work with the videos, people. Make sure you understand. You can watch a video more than once. Okay? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, all these lessons are recorded and it's online. Every single one. Okay? That's the idea. At the end of this year, I will have all the lessons. So if you have a problem with grade 8 equations, then you go to the grade 8 playlist, paper 1, you look where the exponents video starts. You watch. If you had a problem with equations, you look for equations. Have a problem with geometry, then you go to geometry. Okay. Just make use of it, it's free. Okay. Let's look at the next one. And you have friends at other places, at other schools, they can also make use of it. It's free, no? Okay. People, the next one I need to rearrange to get it in that form. In the standard form. Okay. So here we got AB. So in other words, on this side I must have a squared and that side I must have a b squared. To get it in the trinomial form. Okay. So let's see. Is it possible? Yes. I'm going to write 4a squared first, then plus 20ab. 20ab plus 25b squared minus 9x4. You see here? A squared A, no A. B squared B, no B. Can you see that? So that is the trinomial format. Okay. So there's your perfect square trinomial. So what do we get? Square root of 4a squared, 2a. Square root of 25b squared, 5b. So here's a plus, so there goes plus. Squared. This test if the middle term is correct. If it's not correct, it's not a perfect square trinomial. Not so. What is 2a times 5a? 10ab times 2? 20ab. Yes, so that is in order. You all agree with that? Right. Minus 9x4. What do you notice now? Dots, perfect square trinomial. So what is the square root of 2a plus 5b all squared? 2a plus 5b, 2a plus 5b. 1 plus 1? What's the square root of 9x4? 3x squared. Okay. Any issues there? No. Right, so as I gave you homework is on page 22. So now we're looking at factorizing a trinomial on page 23. Factorizing a trinomial on page 23. Okay. Now we have done trinomials already last year. Not so? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh your memory. Okay. You need another one there. So I'm not going to do go as slow as when I did it in grade 9 with you. Okay. Alright. Okay. So the question says factorize trinomial. Okay. So who can remember the rules? If this term is positive. Okay, when we start off. We first start off with the product line, not so. So what's the products on the side of the barrier goes? The products of 1. What's the products of 1? 1 and 1. What's the products of 6? 1 and 6. 2 and? That's right. So I want you guys to do the product line for this one here quickly. In your books. We're going to do it together, okay? Okay. So what are the factors of 1? 1 and 1 for 12? 1 and 12? 3 and? I could have factored it in as 4 and 3 and 6 and 2 and so on, but without swapping it around at this point. Okay, you'll see in later on when do we actually swap around the factors. Okay. So that's the first thing we do. Okay, so you can make a bullet there. The first thing is we need to determine the products. Or you can say you will first sort out your product. Okay. So what do I do thereafter? Now I determine if I add or subtract the products. Okay, so now you put here, determine if you're adding or subtracting the products. In the first case, are we adding or subtracting the products? Adding. We're adding the products. Why? Because of the last term is positive. Okay. Since the last term is positive, we're going to add the products. You all with me? Just let me know when I'm going to pause. No? What's 1 times 6? What's 1 times 1? When I add it again? 7. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the middle term, which is 5. So that is not my numbers I'm looking for. What's 1 times 3? 3. What's 1 times 2? 2. You add it, you get? 9. And that's what I want. Not so? So in the brackets goes a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 3. Okay. Since there's an x squared, x and x. Now there's many ways of doing it. Okay, I just find this to be the easiest way with a foolproof way. Okay, anybody can do it. Any fool can get it right if they're following the rules. Okay. I don't say you're a fool, no? People, let's look at example 2, page 23. Are we going to add or subtract these factors? Subtract. Why are we going to subtract these factors? Last term is negative. So make that note there. And you find the factors from it. Yeah? It's okay? Okay. So we said that's going to be negative. So we're going to subtract the factors. So 1 times 12 is 12. 1 times 1 is? Subtract it, I get 11. What am I looking for? 1. I'm looking for 1. Okay? So it's not that one. What's 1 times 6? 1 times 2? Subtract it, I get 4. Not what I'm looking for. Unless there was a 4 there. Okay? 1 times 4? 1 times 3? You subtract it, you get? So in other words, it's a 1 and a 3 in a bracket. And a 1 and a 4. Since it's x squared, there goes an x and an x. Okay. Now what? Now we need to determine the sign inside the bracket. So the next bullet is, if the last term is positive, the signs will be the same in the bracket. You make the note. Don't shake your head. You make the note. The last term is positive. Signs in the brackets are going to be the same. Either both plus or both minus. This one. The last term is plus, and in the brackets both terms are going to be positive, or both brackets going to be negative. In this case, what would it be? Both is going to be positive. Why? Because of the middle term that is positive. However, if that had to be a negative in the middle, then the both terms would have been negative. You guys understand? So both is going to be positive. Let's look at this one here. The last term is negative. The last term is negative. So what about the signs in the brackets now? 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger product takes the sign of the middle term. And what sign is in the middle term? Negative. So which one is bigger? 4 times x is 4x, 3 times x is 3x. So 4x is bigger. So that's going to get the negative, and that's the positive. Okay. Any confusion here? No? So I'm going to give you 2 to do quickly. Example 3 on page 23. Example 4 on page 24. Guys, finish? Sorry? Yes, with those two? Okay. So what's the first thing we do? Product line. Not so. So what are the products of 1? 1 and 1. For 6? 1 and 6. 2 and 3. You add or subtract the products? Subtract. So 6 minus 1 is 5. Can you see that 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1? You get 5. And that's what I'm looking for. Not so. So it's a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 6. The x squared, so it's x and x. What about our signs? Plus and a minus. In this case, the bigger one is going to be minus. Plus or minus? Plus, okay. 1 times x is x, 1 times 6 is 6. So the 6 is bigger, so there goes plus and minus. You all okay with that? Right. You guys got that right, no? Let's look at the next one. Anybody confused about this one? Sorry? What you confused about? Well, what did you write as an answer? Nothing at all. Didn't you write the 4 rules down? Sorry? You did. Now follow those rules. Okay? So what is that first rule that I gave you there? Read the rule. The product. But what's the first thing we need to do here? Rearrange. Why? You need to get it in standard form, which is x squared plus bx plus c. That's a standard form of trinomial. So we rearrange. So it's a squared plus 6a minus 27. Now the question says you must work out the products. Not so. Well, what is this here? The factor here. What's the number in front of a squared? 1. You understand? No? You remember? You are following those steps I gave you. So what's the factors here? 1 and 1. What's the factors of 27, Michael? 127, yes? 3 and 9. So what's the next step I told you? So are we adding or subtracting here? Subtracting, yes. So 1 times 27 is 27. 1 times 1 is 27 minus 1 is 26. Is that what I want? Now what am I looking for? The middle term. We're looking for 6. Alright. So let's go with the other one. What's 1 times 9? Well, 1 times 3? You subtracted, you get? Is that what I want? Yes. So in the bracket goes a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 9. You understand? Okay. So 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 9. So you see as a squared. So there goes a and an a. What about the signs, Michael? Plus and minus. The bigger one is going to be? Plus. Because of the middle term is plus. Okay? So 3 times a is 3a. 8 times 9 is 9a. So the 9 has to be positive. So it's positive in it. You understand? It just takes some practice. Okay. What needs to be done in number 5 first? Common factor of 6. So you take that out there. And in the next one, also trinomial. So I'll give you a few minutes to do it. And then you bring me your book when you finish. The one that's, yeah. You said you didn't understand. I want to see if you understand it now. Alright. I'm going to pause here quickly. So she says P open brackets. Sorry, 6 open brackets. P minus 1. Close brackets. P plus 5. Is she correct? Yes. That's what you don't understand. Listen, people, there will come a time in your life when you understand, accept it. No? Don't tell yourself, nah, that can't be so easy. No, that's probably what you're telling yourself. So you're getting a very difficult one. You understand? Not very difficult, but more complex than the ones you didn't understand. Okay, so as you can see, 6 is a common factor. Not so? So it's p squared plus 4p minus 5. So we sort out the product line. What goes on the line? 1 and 1, because there's a 1 there, enough. 1 and 5. We add or subtract my products. Subtract. 1. Last term is negative. So 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 1 is 1. You subtract it, you get 4. So it's a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 5. It's a p, so p squared, so it's p and 5. What about our signs? 1 plus, 1 minus. The bigger product is going to be plus. Why? So the middle term is plus. It's plus and minus. Alright, you guys understand? Next. Didn't finish. Okay, so you can do it one time on the board. So that's the first thing we need to do. Product line. Give me the factors, Michael. 1 and 24, yes? 2 and 12, yes? 3 and 8, yes? 4 and 6. On the other hand, what's the factors on the other side? 1 and 1. Why? Because it's the constant. So if the constant term. You all with me there? Do we add or subtract the products? We add it. Why? The last term is plus, so we must add the products. Not so? So it's going to be 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 24 is 24. We add it, we get 25. What am I looking for? 10. Not what we do. No? The next one? 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 12 is 12. You add it. If I subtract it, I would get 10. But what must I do? I must add it. So it's not what I'm looking for, because I'm getting only get 14. Not so? Let's go with the next one. And I know some of you are seeing it already. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 8 is 8. We add it, we get 11. Not what I'm looking for. It's close. But I can't round off, no? Alright. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. I add it, I get 10. Yay! So it's a 4 and a 1 and a 6 and a 1. Can you see that, people? And where's your x? After the 4, after the 6. As you can see, the x in the first term. What about our signs? Same sign, opposite sign? Same sign. So both is going to be negative. Alright. Any confusion? No. Okay, so what we're going to do quickly is exercise 1.17, the first column. Exercise 1.17, the first column. Okay. And this is on page 23, 24. 23, no? What's wrong, Michael? What's wrong? Okay, so I will be pausing this video at this point. At this point, you pause the video and write down the sums. Okay. When you do it, when you're done, you play the video again. Okay, at this point I take it you guys are done with number 1. Yes? Let us run through number 1 quickly. Okay, the first one is a squared plus 7a plus 12. So on the product line goes 1 and 1, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. At this point I know some of you can already see it's 3 and 4. And it's plus 4. But for tomorrow's lesson, we need to know the rules as we are doing it. Okay? Please follow through with the rules. Otherwise we're going to have problems tomorrow. Do you add or subtract our factors? We add it. So 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3, we add it to get 7. So it's a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 4 in the bracket. A 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 4. There goes a and a A. What about our signs? Same sign or opposite sign? Same sign. So both is going to be plus. Let's look at the next one. C. Product line. The factors are 1 and 1. For 12 is 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. We add or subtract our products. We subtract them. Not so, because it's minus. So it's going to be 4 and 3. Not so, 4 minus 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. I subtract it, I get 1. And that's what I want. I want the 1 there. In the bracket goes a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 4. So there's an x and an x. What about our signs? 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger one must be negative. So that's going to give you 4x and that's going to give you 3x. It's minus and. Okay, you all agree with that? Look at the next one. E. In E, what goes on the line? 1 and 1, 1 and 12, 2 and 4. No, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. We add or subtract our products. Subtract them. So it's going to be 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. So it's a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 6. What about our sign? Y and 1. Okay, what about our sign? 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger one is going to be minus. You all okay with that? Do the next one. What do we know about the next one? The products are? What are the products? 1 and 1. Yes? And? Sorry? 1 and 12? 2 and 6? 3 and 4. We add or subtract the products. We add them. So it's going to be 6 plus 2 is 8. So a 1 and a 2 goes in the bracket, and a 1 and a 6. There's a a squared, so there goes the a and a a. What about our signs? Same sign. Both is going to be positive. Okay, any confusion there? No. Next one, I. What goes on the line? 1 and 1. For 12 is 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. What do we get? Do we add or subtract the products? We add them. So 1 times 12 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1. 12 plus 1 is 13. So 1 and a 1, and 1 and a 2. Okay. There's an a squared, so it's a and a a. What about our signs? Both must be the same. In this case, both is going to be minus. Okay. What about the product line here? 1 and a 1. For 12, 1 and a 12, 2 and a 6, 3 and a 4. We add or subtract our products. Subtract. Why? Because the last term is negative. 1 times 12 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1. 12 minus 1 is 11. So it's a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 12. So there's x squared, so there goes the x and an x. Okay. Now what? What about our signs? Plus and a minus. So 1 plus, 1 minus. The bigger product must be minus. So 12 is bigger, not so. Do you guys understand? Let's look at M. M. So what needs to be done first here? Common factor of, I'm left with y squared plus 3y plus 2. Now the product line. What goes on the line? Sorry? 1 and 1. 1 and 1, 1 and 2. Do we add or subtract the products? Add. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1. What's 2 plus 1? 3. So it's a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 2. There's a y squared, so there goes a y and a y. What about our signs? Both going to be the same. In this case, both going to be plus. Next, O. In O, what goes on the line? Sorry, 1 and 44, yes? 2 and 22, yes? 4 and 11. And the side? 1 and 1. Can you see? Because that's the 1. It's either that or I could rearrange and say p squared plus 15p plus 44. The same thing. Okay? Now what? Do we add or subtract our products? Add. You need 15. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 11 is 11. What's what's 11 plus 4? And that's what I want. Not so. There's a 4 and a 1 in the bracket. And a 11 and a 1. Not so. Well, there's a p squared there, so they must go over 1p. You all okay with that? You see the last term here has the p squared. That's why I put it at the back. When the first term had the x squared in, then I put the x in front. You see that, people? Now what? What about our signs? Same sign or opposite sign? Same sign. Both is going to be the sign in the middle term, which is positive. 2a. You get 2a. Yeah, the value is going to ring now. So let me do a few after this. Okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
For homework, I want you guys to do exercise 1.17. Whichever sums are remaining, you will do for homework. Okay? So let's see if I can do this whole second row. You think it's possible?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh my word, that's rude. Right. So what do we have to do first? Common factor of 2. I'm left with a squared minus 12a plus. What are my factors? 1 and 1. 1 and 35. 5 and 7. Do we add or subtract them? We add them. So which are the factors going to be? 5 and 7. So it's a 1 and a 5. 1 and a 7. So it's a squared, so we got a and a a. Now what? Sign will be the same. Both is going to be minus. You all okay with that? Yeah. Let's look at the next one. What needs to be done here? 2c. What needs to be done? Huh? Rearrange. Write it in the standard form of ax squared plus bx plus c. There's x squared minus x minus 6. What do we do now? Product line. What is the factors? 1 and 1. 1 and 6. 2 and 3. We add or subtract our products. You subtract them. So 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. You subtract, you get 5. So it's actually the other one. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 2 is 2. Subtracted, you get 1, and that's what I want. Not so. So it's going to be a 1 and a 2 in a bracket, and a 1 and a 3. What about our signs? 1 plus the other minus. The bigger product must be minus. That's 2x and that's 3x. It's going to be minus. Okay. Let's do the last one quickly. What is common here? 5 is a common factor. We left with a squared plus 7a minus 8. What about what goes on the line? 1 and 1, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. We add or subtract our factors? Subtract. It's 1 and 8. Not so. So you're going to be a and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 8. What about our signs? 1 plus, 1 minus. The bigger product must be plus, because that's the middle term is positive. It's going to be plus, eh? Will you guys understand? Right. For homework, don't forget, it's the remainder of the exercise. I think there's 2 sums left. You add these 2 sums to the homework. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. Good morning, class. I'll start off with those 2 sums tomorrow, okay?